with our Brahmin family. Welcome, dear angel, Brother Ken.
Om Shanti, dear Sister Bhumi, Om Shanti Didi. I was just sitting here listening and taking in, of course, what Baba said in the extract of the Avyak Moy and then what Didi was sharing. And it struck me that if we're really serious about having success in transformation, of course, that will bring the newness. But definitely I have to have a more unlimited consciousness. That means I have to learn how to go beyond all of the things that happen, all of the words that people are saying. I love this idea that Didi mentioned, that we have to be ourselves. We have to be the best version of ourselves. I shouldn't try to be what someone else expects me to be, but I should discover what my true strengths are and with Baba's help, bring them out. So if I don't learn how to develop an unlimited consciousness, it's very difficult. It's like, and an example that we often use, imagine someone trying to change the wheel of a bicycle while still riding the bicycle. Impossible. We have to get off the bicycle and change the wheel. So in the same way, I have to get away from my limited consciousness. And I was remembering different scenes today. In the late 70s, there were very few foreigners. And in fact, the whole idea of double foreigners came later. We were just, in those days, foreigners because there were very few of us. And we would stay, a small group of us would stay 1-2 months in Madhavan at that time, sometimes 3 months. And the Maulis would happen every 2 or 3 days. Baba would come. And according to the number, many of those Maulis happened in the history hall. I even had the fortune once to be part of a Mauli that happened in Baba's room in Pandap Bhavan. Can you imagine how few people there were? And in those history hall meetings after the Mauli, there were still some foreigners. When Baba would call us, he would speak to us individually and he would also speak to us as a group. I was remembering different questions that Baba asked us. Baba said once, do you know why you were born in those countries? Do you know why you took birth in those other places? He said, because you would be able to do service there. It's very complicated for people to come from India and get visas and stay. So you were here from Bharat. You came out from Bharat. You took birth in those places to do my service. And then he would say, but actually, the service could happen without you, but I have given you the chance so that you can create your fortune, because I won't be going to the golden age. So Baba would talk to us like this. Once Baba looked at us and he said, many of you will not be here at the end. And I remember as we were walking out of the hall, everyone was saying, not me, I will stay, I will stay. And if we look at the photos of those days, very few have actually remained until the end. And of course, some of the reasons, I've seen many leave their efforts and even leave Gyan because of what Didi was describing, other people's negative behavior, because they haven't been able to go beyond and to see those things. Another time, Baba looked at us with loving drishti and he said, you people think too much. You think too much. Daddy Janky also used to say that you think too much about others, just concentrate on your own efforts. So some practices that can help us stay beyond and to keep this highest perspective, keep this new highest perspective, as Didi was talking about, new awareness. One of them, of course, this practice really helps us to stay beyond. And in this consciousness, if I look at a limited situation or other people's sanskars, it just seems so far away. So I'm a bodiless soul, for example. I'm sitting in front of God. Baba affects me directly. To have that experience, Baba, I'm sitting with Baba, I'm sitting beside Baba, and with Baba, I'm looking at a particular situation, and his state, his power, his strength actually affects me directly, and his vibration affects me directly. So how would I see things if Baba's with me? How would I see the limited behavior of someone else? How would I even see myself? How would I see my future if Baba's with me and he's giving me all of the guarantees? Another practice we have to have is to really practice using the third eye. We've talked about this before. That if I look at everything, every situation, every soul, it's not just soul conscious drishti, but it's a drishti full of awareness. That I'm looking at the world through the lens of Gyan. Everything I see, I can see through the lens of Gyan and not through the lens of my own sanskars. So how do I actually transform my sanskars? I have to start to activate them, but through the lens of Gyan, that everything I observe, I'm observing with the third eye. And part of that, of course, and another experience we need to have is to be Trikaldashi. So I go to Baba, I activate my third eye, I develop this awareness of the three aspects of time. I look at the whole cycle. I reaffirm that I am the soul, I'm the same soul that has had all of those births. I know what's happening in the world at the moment, so nothing confuses me. Some Brahmins get so much caught up in politics, for example, but we know that the world is only going to get worse. So why should, everything is happening and it will get worse. Why should we be surprised that something is not working? So if I look at things as with the three aspects of time, it gives me such a broad vision. Even if I look at someone else, okay, that soul is as they have, as Baba says, he's under the influence of something if he's behaving wrongly. There's some influence there, but if I open my vision, I can see that the soul is struggling. It's probably that influence is from something in the past. And if the soul continues to behave like that, then there will be consequences. So that gives me a feeling of mercy. And so I can look at everything, both in the sense of the short term, temporary, what's the temporary impact of all of this? But I can also see the long-term impact of things. And as I broaden my vision, which is as I add the past and the present and the future, that's how I make my vision broader, then I can understand perfectly how each soul, as they have become, each soul, you can see the soul in its journey, you can see the soul in its process. And it's really a beautiful experience. If I forget to be Trikaldashi, I become so limited. It's just me and the other person. No, It's me in an unlimited consciousness looking at this soul that has a role over a whole cycle. So it really helps to make things more stable and balanced and loving and merciful if I can broaden my vision like that. Also need to have the experience of being the Lord of the three worlds, at least have the experience of, okay, I'm here in the physical world, but at the same time, I'm beyond this physical world. I'm aware of things, but I'm not really feeling the body. I'm feeling full of light. So I go to the subtle regions and I'm sitting there with Bhakdada looking at the state of the world and I'm feeling his mercy. And then I go to the incorporeal world and I remain with Shiv Baba in total silence, even without thoughts. So I become a master of the three worlds, coming and going, coming and going. And if I do that, then if I have this sort of awareness of being able to, and Baba uses the language of going to the different floors. So here's the ground floor, and then there's, the other floors I can go beyond, and then I can go to the soul world, come back, go, come. And of course, that gives me an experience of detachment because I realize that my existence does not depend totally on just being in a physical body. I exist beyond the body. If I lost everything, if I lost my family, if I lost my work, if I lost my money, if I lost everything, I would still exist. And the only one that I really can't lose is Baba. Baba is with me before, during, after everything that I experience in this world. So if I add these dimensions to my experience here, then I can definitely put everything in its context. People are not having bad or strange behavior because they want to. It's because of their own past. They're caught up in some karmic bondage. So let me not be caught up in that, because if I start to think about other people's difficulties and problems and I start to worry, it actually becomes my karmic account as well. So with Baba, I can, keep my third eye open. I can have this experience of seeing the three aspects of time, and I can have this experience of the different dimensions, like the corporeal, the subtle, and the incorporeal. It gives me such a depth and such a width, you could say. My foundations become very big, so I can build on top of it, but also very deep at the same time. So I actually can become underwater. It doesn't matter what people's behavior is. So when I think about, and there's so many souls that were around and they left because they didn't like something, they didn't like someone, it's actually because of themselves that something pulled them away. So we should be very happy that we are with Baba, that we have the fortune to understand all of these things and to create newness in our lives. And really, 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 we have a big chance to transform our nature and sanskars with Baba's help. So let's have some meditation and remember these gifts that Baba has given us to organize our thinking, to organize our lives. Om Shanti. Let's have some meditation now. Om Shanti, everyone. Om Shanti. Bye-bye.